All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to round three. As Sunny said, we've got about 6 people who are 2-0 at this point. So we are going to get started with one of those feature matches right now. We've got YurickYu facing down the Magic Order. What are we looking at here, Sunny?
Well, one of the strategies we talked about might be featured in this event. YurickYu is playing Warp. And this hand is probably not worth keep. Well, I don't know. I mean, Torch can flag rate. That's pretty good defense. But I'm excited to see this deck play out. And it's 2-0, so that's a good start.
Absolutely. Okay, so it is round three. Both of these players are 2-0. Let me tell them.
I should have mentioned, the Magic Order is on Rakana aggro. We've got Oni Ronin, Oni Samurai, Peacekeeper's Helm, Sharpened Reflex, Torch, Bear Arms coming out of the Magic Order's deck. So low to the ground, nothing costs more than 3. Just Rakano aggro deck.
All right, YurickYu actually tossing that hand back and getting an iffy hand here for the next one.
Yeah, gotta hit that third power.
Yeah, really got to hit that third power. I mean, if you don't hit that third power here, this deck really can't be done. Can't really do anything with this deck. Now you got some power. Once you hit that, if this survives and you can start hitting these sentinels into this cannon bearer, then you're in pretty good shape.
Indeed. Looks like we're waiting on the Magic Order. Maybe they stepped away. Oh, here we go. Turn 1, Oni Samurai.
True that. Not exactly the one he wanted, but it actually works fine here because you weren't casting anything until turn 3 anyway.
Yeah, that works out fine for YurickYu, but a start with Oni Ronin, Oni Samurai, another Oni Samurai. YurickYu might be in some trouble.
Going to play the familiar here. Now, does it eat a torch is the question.
Yeah, I think this is critical here. If Yurik can play the Awakened Sentinel next turn, that's going to stonewall all of the Magic Order's units. It's very difficult to read.
All right, Master at Arms is not a torch or a char, but it'll pump up one of the samurai, and it does not look like they have the removal spell.
Yeah, I think this is an easy bounce. I don't think you go for the trade. That 1 power is so critical here.
Yeah, I mean, you go for the clean block on there. Keep it alive. Oof.
To
not hit.
Curator's nice. It'll hold back the Oni Ronins, and it can silence the Master at Arms. But you have to imagine the Magic Order is about to draw a unit that is absolutely gargantuan.
Yeah, with all these war cries.
I don't know if 1-4 is going to be enough to stop.
Oh, and there's an Ornate Katana, so that gives it +3/+1 and draws a card. So it's going to make that. Actually, it's going to make everything attack through here. I'm assuming the Magic Order also has Overwhelm, has a +2/+2 and Overwhelm in their deck as well. Well, they don't have it here. They just fire that in.
Yeah.
Interesting trade there.
That much damage for an Oni Ronin is something I'm sure they're happy to do at this point.
I'm sure they are. Yeah, playing that Awakened, hitting that 5th power and playing that Awakened Sentinel is a big stop sign, though.
Well, I mean, how many war cries have we seen in this game? 1 was used up. There were, I think we're like at 6 war cries or something like that for the Magic.
Gotta be something big coming. So attacking with the 2/1 and the 1/2, but not the 4/3 or the 2/2.
This is an interesting block. Wouldn't you think you'd just block the 1/4? Yeah, okay.
I would think so, yeah. There we go. YurickYu switched it up, ate those 2 units here, and no follow-up from the Magic Order. What do you think of that attack?
Well, I'm kind of surprised to see it. I think that unless whatever the Magic Order war cries has Overwhelm, I think that Yurick's going to start running away with this game. I think the defense is ample enough in that.
They feel they've turned the corner too. They're turning around and attacking with 3 flyers. They feel that it's safe to attack there.
I have to imagine this attack is accompanied by
it has to be.
Just a torch?
Just a torch, but that's great for Yurick. Yurick's got another Sentinel follow-up, got a Cannon Bearer if they want it. Have we not seen the Massive Warcry? We haven't seen anything, right? We've seen the Katana,
this is
but
unfortunate for the Magic Order. Yurick's just gonna play a Cannon Bearer,
and this is
2 turns to victory.
This game has shifted very well in YurickYu's favor. Even 1 giant unit at this point isn't going to do it. And that's game.
Wow.
YurickYu takes
So
game one.
despite 3 1-drops from the Magic Order by turn 2, Yurik was able to mount a defense and take that one.
Really crucial hitting that power too. Hitting the power on 3 to be able to get the warp unit out to be able to get pump that power, and then that unit surviving, and then hitting the 5th power to be able to play the Sentinel. That was pretty clutch to be able to hit those.
Yeah, I think notably, the Magic Order didn't see any pump spells that would have been a little more efficient in getting through blockers. But even so, like the 3/5 does an insane amount of work there. It's just so difficult to.
Yeah, I think that game looks a lot different if the Magic Order gets that torch earlier and is able to torch the familiar, keeping Yurik off of lands, and then even just the +2/+2 overwhelm. If there was just anything they could have done there just to get those units right past there, I think they could have ran away with it, but not quite enough.
Yeah. Okay, here's a card I was not expecting to see in this event. Yurik is playing 2 copies of Magmatic Sentinel. Do you know what this card does?
Not off the top of my head. Let's pull it up.
8 cost, 7/5. Summon, deal 5 damage to an enemy unit. It's a 7. I said 7/5.
8 cost 7/5. Summon, deal 5 damage to a unit. That is very expensive.
All right, are we waiting for them to get into the game?
We are, yep. And whose deck was this in? Whose deck was this in?
Yurik says, I am sending a challenge to an opponent.
I assume this has got to be in Yurik's deck. Because he's got a little bit of mana ramp. I mean, I guess on Yurik's side, if you have the warp and you have the familiars and you're able to get a little bit ahead on power, then maybe you can play an 8-drop. But it also seems like that's a lot of things have got to go right to be able to cast this.
Yeah, it looks like we have a game. So Yurik's going first. This looks like a pretty good hand. I mean, just leading Blinkwolf into Avarex Familiar. And then eventually, hopefully, getting up to the Cannon Bear that should be able to stop what the Magic Order has.
There you go. Two Cannon Bears. 2 Cannon Bears there. Got another one on top. Yeah, having that 3 power, having the familiar, a little bit better hand this time for sure.
Yeah.
Magic Order leads off with an Oni Ronin.
So if you're Yurik, do you make this block? I think you want to hold back the 2/1 so that you can get the Amber Coin activation, but that's a little awkward.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, but that's a little aggressive there. I feel like when your opponent offers you up a free Ronin to kill, you take it. It's tough. That's a tough decision.
I kind of like it because the 1/1 does deal with the 2/1, but I think Yurik just got maximally punished, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're a little bit behind here, and they can play one of these units. I guess the torch helps, but you can't play the torch in anything else. So you got to just play the 3-drop, which doesn't do a lot on this board.
Yeah, I wonder if playing the Journeyman armor might have been a little better, just to trade a little better against the opponents. But the Magic Order has great attacks here, and if they have anything to follow it up, I think that we're going to see Yurik being buried, especially with 3 Cannon Bears in hand.
Yeah. Although those Cannon Bears are a little far from being cast. Yeah, Yurik's a little behind here, and having to, I guess, yeah, you can block the grunt and keep your familiar alive. You kind of have to. Ooh, look at this! A Bright Mace Paladin, because of the War Cry, is a 6/6 naturally, meaning it has lifesteal. Not that might be super relevant in this game, but being a 6/6 Bright Mace Paladin's pretty hard for Yurik to beat.
Well, I may have spoken too soon. I mean, that Bright Mace Paladin, it threatens to get a lot of work done. Yurik doesn't have any good blocks for it this.
They really don't. Seems like they're on a back foot. They don't have any way to deal with the 6/6. Eventually, they're probably going to have to toss away this familiar, and they don't have anything in hand they can cast. Down to 4.
Yeah, your deal is down to 4.
Can
There's
they
2 big threats.
draw?
I think if it was just one big threat to deal with and chump block every turn, maybe Yurick can find their way out of it. But I think with 2 units, they have
It's
to
too
chump
much.
block this turn.
Yep,
It's just not.
they have to. Having to jump block both of your units away, including your power, it's not going to happen. So it's tough break there. This hand was definitely better for Yurick, but kind of drew the expensive half of it though. 3 6 drops and a 5 drop. Not exactly what you wanted to see with your 3 power.
Yeah, quite a contrast to the last hand, right?
And that'll do it. There's nothing that Yurick can draw. Another 5 drop. So that'll do it there. But that's a 1-1. So we're going to a game 3 here. So what do you think Yurick needs to see to get this match win here?
Honestly, I think that first hand, I think that is the hand was pretty good. You'll notice that Yurick kept a 3 power hand and did not draw a single power the entire game. I think that was really the demise there more than anything.
And here we go. We're jumping right into game 3 here. So this is 1-1. So what does this mean for the winner of this match? Is the winner of this match in the top 4? Is that guaranteed? Do we know that yet?
I don't know how tiebreakers work on eternal tournaments, but if this were a Magic tournament, I think it would be very likely if it's based on opponent match win percentage.
Yeah, well, either way, the winner of this match is going to be in very good shape going towards the top 4 and that $50 prize. So Yurick starts. He has 4 power in hand, as well as a Talier's Favored, an Archive Curator, and a Journeyman Armor. A better hand from a power standpoint.
Yeah, this hand looks pretty solid. I mean, when you're playing a Warp deck, you really just want to develop your power early on. That's exactly what's going to happen. Magic Order, not having a 1-drop and then having a 2-drop that can't attack past, well, I guess the
couldn't attack without help. Yep. So they play the Master at Arms, which gives +2/+2 to the Grunt as long as you have Master of Arms. So if that ever goes away, this goes back to a 1/3. But for now, that 3/5 is going to be a pretty good beater against this 0-2. So YurickYu is going to warp the Manufacturer off the top of the deck and draw 3 1/1 Grenadins. But that'll be the turn.
Feel about that?
I mean, you got to get it off the top of the deck, I guess, but you didn't affect the board. It's tough. That's a turn where you could fall behind, I think.
Yeah, this is going to be really tough for Yurick to deal with.
Oh, and our best friend of the night shows up, Bear Arms. But notably, Magic Order did miss a power drop there. They're stuck on 2.
Yeah, the Bear Arms is going to get silenced off here, so that's good, but still a 4/4 to deal with.
Absolutely. And notably, though, the silence affects both the Bear Arms and the +2/+2 to the Grunt. So pretty good play there, actually. Took care of kind of two birds with one stone there.
Yeah, for sure. The Magic Order's stuck on 1 power. Oh, wow. That is an aggressive sharpened reflexes, but I suppose that
I think it's stuck on 2 power.
They don't have the power. They just need to
draw that.
find their next.
All right, you got a Infused Guardian here. You got a 4/4. I didn't think that your turn 5 Infused Guardian was going to be trumped by their 2-drop, but it is in this case. Ooh, there's a Peacekeeper's Helm without the Rebuke. Second one without the Rebuke.
Just to attack through.
But that's 9 damage that Yurick has to take to go to 7. All right, a nice Purify there.
The good news is that Yurick has 2 1/1s that can just chump block, and then another Manufacturer in order to further block. So I think Yurick's actually in a fine situation. Eventually, this Infused Guardian is going to stonewall their team. It's basically impossible for the Magic Order to get through it. So I think that Yurick's actually in a pretty good spot here.
There you go. So there's a Katana to draw a card. That being stuck on 2 power is really affecting Magic Order here. Now they do hit that 3 power there, attacking with their 7/9 here. But like you said, there's pretty much endless units for Yurick to just chump here with another Manufacturer in hand.
Yeah, there's no way for the Magic Order to get through blockers. There's no evasion, there's no overwhelm. So I think Yurick is just going to be content to keep on playing out those Manufacturer tokens, chump 1 a turn, and then eventually let this Infused Guardian take over the game. So I think Yurick's actually in a very commanding.
Now the Magic Order could have the +2/+2 overwhelm. And I think Yurick can't really play around that. I assume you just throw the 1/1s in front of it and hope they don't have it.
Welcome everyone, coming from Novaroot's channel. We are watching round 3 of the Pauper Challenge, the Tuesday Night Pauper Challenge. Both Yurik and the Magic Order are 2-0, currently in game 3.
You're right, though, Sonny. YurickYu definitely stabilizing here, playing out, using another manufacturer, playing out more Grenadin that can chump block this 7-9, and actually playing a 2-3 flyer, which can start to hit in the air. But that Bracebane Paladin will get lifesteal now that it has 5 power.
I just don't think it'll matter a ton. Like that Infused Guardian is just going to be bigger than anything else that the Magic Order can do, and we're looking at 6-turn lethal with the Avarice Familiar.
Yep, and in case it ever did come down to that, YurickYu has the Purify in hand and the Torch to take care of that Bracebane Paladin. So Magic Order gonna fire it in there, get some life, yeah.
I think with I can understand making that block. I think you can just go ahead and block with the 7/7. You only really get punished by a Torch.
Following up with a 3-3 Paladin without lifelink and a 3-2 Ronin, but it's just not going to be enough here, especially with these Infused Guardians out here. Infused Guardian doing work.
This Conflagrate can take down 2 units.
Absolutely can. There was a discussion before the tournament on whether you would play Infused Guardian or Corrupted Behemoth in your time deck. Where do you fall on that? What's the 5-drop of choice for the time decks?
Well, for a deck like this, I think that Infused Guardian doesn't have Warp. I'm thinking of Awakened Sentinel. That's a really good question. I think that there's a lot of reason to play Infused Guardian because it can attack and block. Like losing the blocker when you swing with Corrupted Behemoth can be a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And Infused Guardian just gets absolutely huge.
Yeah, that's a good point. You do trade a little bit with the overwhelm that Corrupted Behemoth has, but I think it's close. And it seems like Yurick decided to go with the Infused Guardian. It's paying off here. You're going to fire off the Amplified Conflagrate. Yep, that's pretty good. And the Torch in hand. So Magic Order's at a virtual 4.
Yeah, I think YurickYu has the kill here.
Can you just alpha?
Yeah. Okay.
Just A space. Opponent's at a virtual 4. If it can't block the flyer, it's at a virtual 1, and you got more than 1 damage coming through.
Yep. No Crown Watch Tactics. No Defiance.
Interesting. Could have also fired off Conflagrate beforehand if they wanted to, but probably not even going to be necessary.
No, I don't think so. This is lethal on the board. Oh, the Magic Order has something? Fall short.
That's not going to do it. That'll keep them at 1, but we know that YurickYu has the Torch.
Yep.
And I'll just fire it off for face for the win. So YurickYu is going to take this one 2-1, and they are going to move to 3-0 for the tournament. Magic Order dropping down to 2-1.
Very exciting to see a Warp deck do so well.
Absolutely.